round two. And this next movie, I really had no intention on seeing it because, like, everybody has never heard of this movie until about, like, a couple weeks ago. So, that movie is Sound of Freedom. And, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I first heard about this movie on the radio, of all things, and I got very interested to see what it's about, so I watched the trailer, and God, this movie was extremely heartbreaking because it's based on the true story of Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, and he's an agent for Homeland Security, and he's in charge of bringing children back from traffickers. So this movie was very heavy, very bleak, but it's one of those movies that needs to be seen at least once. So essentially, Tim Ballard is, like I said, he works for Homeland Security, but he goes to Mexico and he rescues one of the kids from, like, a child predator, and this whole movie is set up in, like, two parts where he rescues this little boy from this predator, and he gets him home safely to his dad, but then the boy, like, forms a friendship with him and him to bring his sister home to him. So the rest of this movie goes into that, where he literally resigns from his job and he just goes out on his own, and he starts, like, a child trafficking sting to get many of these kids out of this situation. So this was not a easy movie to watch. It's very bleak and just sickening to watch. I mean, this has been going on for years, and this movie does the trick to, like, make you feel disgusted, but it doesn't go there, and I'm glad it doesn't, because what these kids go through almost every day with these sickos is just gross. I mean, they literally sell them to, like, child porn. Like, it's just heartbreaking. And this is why I didn't want to talk about this movie, but I really wanted to. But, yeah. All these child predators just go on to, like, the dark web to, like, see these kids in the most deplorable conditions imaginable. And, there's a scene in this movie where you just see, like, a bunch of these kids on, like, a cargo container and a barge just going to, like, Colombia, which is the destination for Tim Ballard to get these children out. So his first major win is catching up with these child predators. He sets up a sting on an island, and he ultimately arrests all of them, but he didn't find the little boy's sister yet. So that's pretty much the end of Act 2. Act 3 is bringing home Miguel's sister. And the ending to this movie is a happy one, but I pretty much like shed a tear like watching this movie, and it takes a lot for me to do that. But when it's real and it's just horrific to even imagine, you got to. So this movie was like shelved for 5 years, and it almost kind of had like a GoFundMe or like a Kickstarter to like get it in the theaters. And this movie like released on July 4th, which God is already like a week ago tomorrow. But this movie has been like blowing up in the box office as of late. It even beat out Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on the 4th. And this movie just hammers in that statement. You must watch it to get educated on this stuff. And, it's just really sad, and I can't imagine like kids going through that horrific stuff every day. It's just sickening. But how do I even like rate this movie? It's like literally up there with like, I don't want to say like Schindler's List or like Boy in the Striped Pajamas, but it just delivers a statement that needs to be heard. But this is a very tough watch, so if you do want to see it, I highly recommend it, but you will feel something. So overall, I would give Sound of Freedom an A. And this is in contention on being in my best of list this year. This movie really got to me, and stay tuned for like a mid-credit scene where Jim Caviezel like talks about child trafficking. And yeah, that's all I would have to say about this video. And God's children are not for sale. I just had to say that statement because that literally makes this movie what it is. Because it's a very true statement on what Jim Caviezel said throughout this movie. But that was my review on Sound of Freedom. So I had to sound serious because it is a very serious matter. And the next movie I want to talk about is Mission Impossible 3. So that'll be a funner one to talk about. So those are my thoughts on Sound of Freedom. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you for my Mission Impossible 3 review. Adios. Peace.